So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Hey.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot. Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Kick it.
Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
You always seem to have a different angle going on every time.
You know why? You never know which voice in my head you're going to get.
I can more than relate.
Different voices have different settings, different reasons, different rhythms, sometimes no rhyme, but we're here. We showed up and it should be enough. You know what I mean?
That's it. Who needs more than us?
How are you?
I'm good. It's been a really busy week. We had a couple of shows launched this week, so run around like a chicken with my head cut off, which I often do. And yeah, but it's all good.
I mean, well, that's a good thing. I mean, I guess that falls in line with chicken soup for the soul. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yep. Good.
And then on top of that, running around with Redbox and running around with Crackle, it's like a never-ending story. And I'm glad to see that we're capturing all of these stories because we have something for everyone on all of these beautiful networks. And one of my favorites is that it's free. Something about the word free motivates me. As the Senior Communications Director for all of these wonderful networks, what has got to be one of the highlights for you with this job? Just one of them.
I have to say, in all honesty, and I wouldn't always say this with every job I've had, I would say it's the people that I work with. Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment is really good at a lot of things, but one of the things that they are exceptional at is finding not only the best and the brightest in the industry, but also people that are just generally wonderful to work with.
That's
And
good.
I think that's a real rarity in the corporate world. I think they usually just look for whoever is the best at any particular position. But this company does a really good job of looking at the corporate culture, looking at, the overall ethos of our company and how we want our employees to represent our brand just in the world. And they're just wonderful. So I'm very blessed.
And sometimes people are so focused on getting the business clear, they forget that the people, that's one of the biggest assets to your business. So if the energy is messed up, the energy bill is going to be a little low. So that's always
Preach it.
Look, I know you're all over the globe. You're doing these interviews. You're getting us all caught up. But I need to know, what should I be adding to my binge watch list? There's something for everyone. So I want to start off with Crackle. All right. Yep. So if we were to binge anything on the Crackle network, some of your favorites, doesn't have to be all of them because I know you go through all of them and you have the to-do list, but what are you watching right now?
So I was talking about dropping a series this week, and there's one that is near and dear to my heart because it was actually the first project that I worked on when I first came to Crackle. And this is our original series, Going From Broke. And this is I think you're going to love this, and I think your audience is going to get a lot out of it because I know I do every season. This is a series that's co-produced by Ashton Kutcher and Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment. And it was sort of the brainchild of Ashton and one of the hosts, Dan Rosenzweig, who is the CEO of the company Chegg, which you may have heard of.
Yes, we did an interview with him. He was awesome.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. And they put their heads together and they were like looking at the debt crisis in this country a few years ago. And they thought, if only there was some way that we could motivate people to learn the basics of economics and finance and make it a way that would be fun for people to want to do this, and they could use those lessons to turn their financial situations around. And that's exactly what they did. They came up with this idea for the show, and Crackle has been running with it. This is our 4th season.
Yeah,
it's amazing. And so Dan Rosenzweig and Tanya Rapley, who's also a financial expert, they sit down on every episode with folks who are literally drowning in debt. We have people that are dealing with $15,000 in student loans all the way up to $200,000 or more, some of them up to $1 million and over in credit card debt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's from a variety of reasons, health issues.
Mhm.
This season, we have a farm family that's fighting to keep the family farm in business. All kinds of great, just very interesting and intricate, complicated financial situations. And Dan and Tanya get in there and they analyze everything with them. They give them steps that are practical and achievable, and they send them off on a path towards financial freedom. And the kind of the slogan for the show is become the CEO of your own life.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what they do.
That is huge. And it's almost like a reversal in my life. Instead of going for broke, going from broke. Hello, somebody. And then they're giving us these obtainable goals that if you see someone else running with it, you can not only run with it and take bits and pieces, but educate yourself and take it to the next level. Because so many of us, we are struggling. We can't prioritize things right. We can't get a savings account without the debit card to it. I'm talking about myself. Don't judge me. This is a judgment-free zone. And it doesn't hurt that I just love Ashton Kutcher too, right? So if he can stop me from laughing so hard to really make me laugh at my problems and at myself in that moment and bring along some help, hey, listen, it has got to be a hit. And I'm super excited. Season 4, the premiere's here and I'm all in. So now that I've added that, hold on a second, you got another series and it's Farscape. I heard about it, but I'm not really familiar with this one.
Yes, so we have a ton of sci-fi on Crackle this month, and Farscape is exceptional. So this was an Australian series that was done in conjunction with the Jim Henson Company.
So you always have to do this with your Australian, with your Aussie accent, don't you?
Yeah. Throw another shrimp on the barbie and watch some Farscape, yeah? But it's phenomenal. What I love about this, my son is in a film program in high school, and he keeps asking me about why we don't use practical effects as much as computer effects anymore. And what I love about this series is Farscape uses almost entirely, while they do use some computer generated images, almost everything, because of the partnership with the Jim Henson Company, is practical. And so there are these amazing puppets and costumes and practical effects that really just blow your mind as to what they were able to do without using computers. But we have all 3 seasons. It's great if you love, the different iterations of Star Trek. This is right there in that same vein. But it is fantastic. So check that one out.
Well, I tell you what, tell nephew, since he asked the questions, we've got the answers and we've been doing some job placement. So I'm gonna need him to go ahead and study and make sure he's getting A's in this course in high school so he can get me some 5s and 10s on gas when we get him hired over here, please. And thank you.
Perfect. Done and done. Anything to motivate my kid to get A's, I'll tell you.
You better believe it. And look, in Redbox, they have some amazing things going on right now too. They're no stranger when it comes down to our families either pulling up to their kiosk or going to redbox.com, trying to figure it out. With Army of One, I've been hearing a lot with that is trending. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yes, Army of One is fantastic. So, it's obviously Women's History Month, but what some people forget is that it's also Women Empowerment Month.
Absolutely.
So not just the past of what women have done for the world, but also women who are empowered, and Army of One is pretty amazing. So Redbox put together a bunch of action films with women kicking butt. And this is one of the best examples. So Army of One is starring Ellen Holman, who you might remember from the last Matrix film. She is tough as nails. So in this film, her and her husband are on a vacation in Latin America. They're on a hike in the middle of the jungle and they stumble onto a cartel compound. And
say this. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'm all in. Army of One. Listen, a cartel, we're out here hiking. One, I thought they'd either be fighting the coyote or the weather, but now I'm saying the cartel and the coyotes along with the atmosphere. I mean, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Excellent. Well, let's just say her husband, unfortunately, is killed. They leave her alive because what can a woman do to harm? Well, it ends up she can do a lot, as a matter of fact. And she's got this bow and arrow. She's got explosives. Ends up she's special forces. Little did they know.
Now
And
we really need to watch this to see, did she just have this like in her picnic set or?
well, because when they were out there in the jungle, they were, she had some equipment there, just for recreational use. Well, it ends up that they have a lot of other uses than just recreational. So it's awesome.
It.
Yep.
Army of One, let's get that one in. And Below the Fold, Redbox, they've been trending with this one. What is that all about?
This one is great. Below the Fold. So not necessarily an action film, but definitely a female empowerment film. So this is an amazing movie. I love thrillers. I think we've talked about this before, LaTangela, and this one is gripping. So it stars Sarah Maguire, who's in actually, oddly enough, a film that we just acquired called They Wait in the Dark, which is a horror film that's going to be coming out here shortly. And she plays a journalist who is researching a 10-year cold case about the disappearance of this young girl. And she uncovers a piece of evidence that it ends up was somehow overlooked by the original investigation. And by finding that, she begins to open up these events that spiral into this crazy experience. And it kind of, she kind of has to dig into the dark underbelly of the Midwest. And it is intense. I cannot recommend this movie enough. Her performance is spectacular. Davis DeRock from Jayhawkers is in this as well. It's a great film. If you like thrillers, you're going to love it. Below the Fold.
I just hope you understand how entertaining hearing you talk about the movies. It's just, it's so captivating. So now we have to go in and watch this. Like the binge list, it's adding up. But I mean, we're just getting the clip notes from Chris right now, and I love it.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. But my other favorite on Redbox this month is Diane Kruger in the Fade. So this is actually a foreign film. Diane Kruger you might remember from National Treasure, the Nicolas Cage movie. Yeah. Well, this is a German film with English subtitles. And if you at all like foreign films, this one is out of control. So her and she's married, has a little boy, has this wonderful life. Ends up her husband and child are killed in a neo-Nazi terrorist bombing. And looks like it's going to be an open and shut case. Well, unfortunately, the system fails her, and it looks like justice is going to be unserved until Diane Kruger decides she's going to take justice in her own hands.
Now, did she go back and fix the system? Because I love a good movie where they go stick it to the system.
She sticks it to the system and to terrorists and to to a lot of people. She packs a lot of rage and anger into that little blonde frame of hers. Let me tell you, it is phenomenal. In the Fade, check it out. You will be happy with that one.
In the Fade just topped my list to start with. I'm there. But then as we trickle on over to Chicken Soup for the Soul, like you got something warm, something fuzzy, come around, what we're doing.
Yes. So a little different take. Chicken Soup for the Soul is our female-centric brand, and we've got some great stuff on there for Women's History Month. One of the ones that I found the most interesting, and I honestly didn't think I was going to be all that excited about it, is a documentary called Quant about Mary Quant, who is the designer who came up with the mini skirt.
Okay, now she saved a lot of lives. Started a lot of careers.
Yeah.
Turned a lot of heads. Hey.
And that's it. And she talks about that. She talks about her motivation for making the mini skirt. She said she wanted women to get looked at, but she wanted women to feel beautiful, which I think is great. And I think she really achieved that. But it's fascinating to see not only the impact that the miniskirt had on the design world, but really on society overall. And in a lot of ways, how it was freeing to a lot of women. And, at a time when the sexual revolution was going on for good and for bad. And Mary Quant's creation really impacted so many different aspects of society. But she also created like the makeup compact that had multiple makeup, like blush and base and all those different things you could put into one contact. So she came up with she was like an iconoclast and a visionary. It's fascinating. I cannot tell you how interesting that documentary was. So it's Quant.
And that's Quant.
A-N-T.
Okay, I like that. Woman empowerment, she changed lives for real, for real. When I say If it goes down from fashion to just some of the things that she knew women would need, because it was probably a void that she wanted to fill for self, so I'm really interested in seeing that. And I
Yep.
know that we're talking about breaking it into some seasons. So season 3 of Fun Girls. What are we-
Yes, this is great. So Funny Girls is an amazing series from New Zealand. Right now New Zealand's red hot with Taika Waititi and all the shows that are coming out from him and just from New Zealand in general, all the Lord of the Rings stuff. But Funny Girls is a sketch comedy show that's a little bit different. So not only do you get all of these sketches in there, and the show itself is about a group of women who are trying to make a sketch comedy show in an industry that is pretty much completely controlled by men. And so not only do you get all of these very funny female-centric sketches in there, but you also get these interstitial stories of the women having to deal with these male executives. It's fantastic. And the coolest thing about it is it was made a few years back when there were a bunch of names who are now pretty big stars who at the time nobody knew who they were. So
Probably some interns getting some coffee, reading the paper here and there.
yeah, so some of the women who are trying to put on this sketch comedy show, Rose Matafeo, who is the lead in Starstruck, which is a big hit right now, Jackie Van Beek, who's in What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire series from New Zealand, and Nick Sampson from the Brokenwood Mysteries. So all kinds of great names in there, and as you watch it, you're like, hey, I know, hey, I know, hey, I know.
Yeah. The aha moments keep popping.
Yep. So it's really funny. And I think female comedians get a really bad rap. And this show is just a perfect example of how that stereotype could not be more wrong. So we have all 3 seasons. You can binge through it, but we just dropped season 3 yesterday on Chicken Soup for the Soul.
That's good. I'm loving it. And of course, as we're adding on to these documentaries, everybody is always just super through the roof when it comes down to the royals. Now, is it time for some tea and crumpets, Smudge?
Yes. And I was talking to somebody the other day about, I don't know how the royals seems like they snuck back on us the last few years. Like when I was a kid, we had the Princess Diana, the wedding. I mean, that was like as big as you could possibly get, Prince Charles and Princess Diana. And then obviously the sadness with Diana's death in the 2000s. But like the last few years, I feel like the royals have just been front and center in the news all the time. And so, yeah, we have this amazing series called The Royals. And the cool thing about this is it's not just a documentary series about them. They actually interview all kinds of different people who have had really deep interactions with the royal family. So it's like you're getting access into this arena of the world that ordinarily people like you and me would never, ever get information about. I mean, I think we all know how tight the royal family keeps all this information to the chest.
Very much so.
Yeah, but
and that's why I always get excited when I hear about the documentaries, because they do run such a tight ship. And by the time something leaks, it's like, oh, really? But it's the simple things that really are like the aha moments for me. Knowing that the queen doesn't like garlic, so no one can eat garlic in the palace. Or whenever she puts down her fork, the dinner is over. I'm like, but I'm still eating. I'm still hungry. Like, what? Hey, do me a favor. Do me a side. Fork up and let me finish the salad.
I've got fries left. I got to finish these fries.
I'm just trying to double dip. Like, those are the things that I'm hoping that they drop some of the gems on for the royals. And, I always appreciate getting caught up and adding to my binge list with you. And this is an extension of your office. So as that binge list keeps growing, I need to hear more from you, from Chicken Soup for the Soul to Redbox to Crackle. I need it all.
You just tell me the date and I will be there.
You are the MVP, and don't you dare let them tell you differently.
Thank you so much. It's always the highlight of my week to come talk to you.
Likewise. And I'll see you soon.
You will. Absolutely. I look forward to it.